KJWI. This is Trace Burchart with the news and reminders for today. Today is Thursday, February the 18th, 2016. Another day down and one more to go. Happy Thursday, students. Another week here at West Intermediate is nearing its close. Keep working hard as the week comes to an end. Polls for Teacher Tuesday Trivia close tomorrow. Get those guesses in as soon as possible. Mrs. Fowler and Mrs. Wilson would like to meet with the After-School Science Club on today during recess. Those students in the After-School Science Club can eat their lunch and then come down to Mrs. Wilson's room for an update on the Science Club. It is important that all members attend. Here is today's lunch menu. Beef and cheese nachos, salsa, ranch beans. It is Black History Month in the United States. This recognition occurs in the United Kingdom in October, as well as Canada in February, similar to the United States. This month started as a week, progressing to include the entire month in 1976. For more information, check out this video.
August 28, 1963. 250,000 Americans, black and white, young and old, descend on the nation's capital in a show of solidarity. It was called the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, but it will be remembered as a turning point in the fight for civil rights. Among the speakers, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who electrified the crowd with his stirring "I Have a Dream" speech.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream.
A few months earlier, racial tensions in the Deep South had erupted. News reports carried brutal images of fire hoses blasting at the backs of school children. President Kennedy had finally seen enough. In June of 1963, he presented sweeping civil rights legislation to Congress. Dr. King and others hoped a massive yet peaceful demonstration in Washington would spur passage of the bill. The city braced for violence, but their fears proved unfounded. The day of the march, more than 200,000 people gathered for a rally at the Washington Monument. It was the largest demonstration in the country's history. Arm in arm, they walked from the Washington Monument to the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. There, performers as diverse as Joan Baez, Bob Dylan, and Mahalia Jackson lent their voices to the cause. Martin Luther King Jr. was the last to take the stage. He began with a reference to Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, which freed the slaves a century earlier.
But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free.
Partway through, King put aside his prepared text and shared with the protesters his dream of equal rights for all.
Let freedom ring, and when this happens, when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
This is all we have for today. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.